What's going on, man? It's different politics. Again, it's been a while since I uploaded a video. One is I wanted to get me a better camera or device, whatever the case may be, to be able to do something. And then also I wanted to be able to come back and have some different political insights to put in. I think that the last few months has just been regurgitated talking points from the right and from the left. Like it's not really been newsworthy. It's Donald Trump, and it's the same old, same old thing. And that Donald Trump is not such an existential threat that he needs to have that much time devoted to him. I'm just saying that you can't add any uniqueness, especially right after the Democratic primary. And I didn't even really get everything I wanted to do during the Democratic primary. I think a couple of my insights was sort of right. Because just for what the political environment was and for what I knew as a Southern voter, what I knew was probably what's going to happen, is I'm moving around the South. I see these people, I talk to these people, so I knew sort of how, things could shape up. I know they're loyal Democrats. I'm a loyal Democrat. I have a lot of gripes with a lot of things that Democratic leadership around the country is doing. But that's neither here nor there right now. So yeah, but right now I think that we're getting into a very interesting political environment right now, just because I think that we'll start to see the polls go up and down. It'll show Biden and not in a position where he could lose, but it'll show where a lot of the country is as far as race relations and as far as safety and things like that. And then things that that is gonna test us to get out there and vote in numbers, because we all understand that that there's parts of our base of liberals, really liberals who are law and order liberals, who could opt out on us because of this. They could sneak out on the Democratic Party, because of this sort of law and order debate, even though it would be, in a sense, members of their community, so we wouldn't necessarily, we wouldn't necessarily be the ones to be holding accountable right now. These Black Lives Matter protests, for the most part, are peaceful protests. It is where we have these sort of left-wing, sort of agitators and right-wing agitators and left-wing agitators, in their own, culture and political gripes, sort of get in and mess it up. And so therefore you're holding, Black Lives Matter accountable, tying Black Lives Matter to the Democratic Party, and then therefore looking down on the Democratic Party, or not believing that they're capable of a law and order message that you can believe in. And so that's where we got to be. That's where I feel like it's getting interesting, and that's why I wanted to come sort of, back around right now, because I was like, not that Joe Biden could lose this thing, but I'm just saying it's not in the bag like you want to, just because of demographics and because of the Electoral College. You could easily lose North Carolina, like easily, just on black male participation. Period. It's just I'm here and I'm hearing people, and and I'm being serious when I tell you I hear people who will vote for Trump, and and they're not, and that's the truth. I'm telling you, when I tell you that, I'm talking to friends and everything else like that, and I'm having to talk them, not out of sort of voting for Trump, but out of heaping praise on him. It's getting to that point where I'm not, in a sense, slamming my fence against the table and everything else like that. That's not how you debate, especially not how you're gonna debate people who mind you trying to change. You know what I'm saying? So I basically just tell them, like, look, man, you as a black man can't vote for a racist. Point blank, period. He's a white supremacist and he's a racist. And that's just what it is. Forget everything policy oriented and everything that you may feel about China, or about lockdowns, or about liberals, or about Democratic Party and everything else you might feel. You can't vote for a racist. And if you sit out, you essentially vote for a white supremacist, you know, who wants to end things that's beneficial to our community. At the end of the day, everyone think that Hispanic migration and Latino migration is bad for African Americans. It's not. They buy the houses in these neighborhoods that African Americans are not returning to, and they help raise property values. And then the people who still have homes there has a chance now to move into the middle class, where they was in a situation where they were drowning. Now their property values start to go up. Maybe they can make them a couple dollars, and they can move to a suburb. And that's just how things have seemed to work themselves out. And so in that case, you know, I've tried to tell them voting for the Democratic Party is in our best interest. We have leaders there, especially in a city like mine. We have a lot of black people in major leadership positions. Sheriff, county sheriff, you know, police chief. You know, these are really, really powerful positions in a city where you're talking about policing a majority minority city. And so, you know, I shouldn't have to work hard to try to talk them off the ledge of voting against, in a sense, their interests. But they feel like, you know, they feel scorned, you know, for some reason. They don't feel helped at all. And then, in shallow as you may think it is, these stimulus checks are really Trump is being credited with the stimulus checks, point blank period. And another round of stimulus, man, is I think it'll be super, super hard to try to talk a lot of these people saying that this man has not came through and played some type of savior, and they discount it always with all white people are racist. You know, that's a major discount when they don't think that anybody. And then, you know, Joe Biden is not perfect. I think that his record, in a sense, but his record, in a sense, is also what's going to save him, because he has a law and order background. So Donald Trump may not be able to pick off as many of those sort of they're now not liberals. They're more so, I guess they're, you know, independents. So and I guess they're the largest makeup of voters. So yeah, but you're really, you know, really people vote a party aligned, they want to call themselves something else. But in a sense, if we're going to be technical, the independents, who are law and order independents, you know, who may vote for the Democratic Party based on a dislike of social norms, but in a sense may also want to be protected, because they also want to see their property values protected, and they want to see their stability, because they want to see the stock portfolios go up. And this is just real thoughts, and this is where people have their money at. So at the end of the day, you can't discount how they feel about it. You can just, you know, put yourself in a position to put forth the best candidate that you believe can cater to everyone's needs, and that was Joe Biden. And Southern voters spoke up, and they said that loudly. So, you know, he would be in no better position than, I believe, of Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders would be down by, in an environment of such, and him catering to it, Bernie Sanders would be down by 6 points. I know that there's probably much evidence to believe that, but I believe that he'll be down at least 6 points in this environment right here. If not more. But in whichever case, I believe Joe Biden can still pull this thing off. I just believe in places like North Carolina, not more so more Virginia, as I move around there, I think that that's a liberal place. I think that that's more of the black man there is probably just as conservative as the black man in North Carolina, but I think Virginia has a lot more other demographics that will help pull Virginia over. North Carolina can't sacrifice no votes. All votes gonna count. You need all hands on deck. And so I believe that the way I'm hearing it, you could pick off a lot of African American men, or just force them not to participate. So I don't know where the outreach goes. It would have to go somewhere. Probably a big infrastructure bill coming out of the next round of stimuluses, if there's a next round of stimulus. And then you, as Joe Biden and the Democratic Party, say, okay, well, don't take that little bit of money. Take this as far as a reparation of some sort, and then take this as far, and I'm not saying reparations, but I'm saying take this of some sort, and then, you know, a big infrastructure bill talking about putting people to work, African Americans work. You know what I'm saying? I'm an electrician by trade. You know what I'm saying? People want to hear things like that. So you need to be astute to that, and that's just how you're gonna. That's how you can keep North Carolina, and African American women are going to show up. That's just period. I'm not saying African American are going to show up. They shouldn't be discounted. They're going to show up. But in that, you have a conservative Christian homes where women will vote for their man. There's an MSNBC clip in South Carolina of a black woman saying that she is not the exception. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's a rule, therefore, because I say it's a lot of black women who say, "Oh, well, all right, Kenny, you vote how you want, I'm gonna vote how I want," in a sense. But you know, in whichever case, you know, black women are going to show up, but in some situations, a disgruntled African American man can take a whole household with him. And you got 18-year-olds and everybody else, like who you depending on to be your core. So that's why you want to pay attention to things like that. But like I say, things like that, that's just one thing that I believe is going to draw the similar. I'm not going to I'm not going to go super into it, but I think that that's one thing about North Carolina that that you want to watch for. And I think that's a lot of things for, and I think Georgia, because they're open. So if you're talking about shutting down and shutting businesses down again and everything like that, these people are getting money. You know, you run into some problems like that again. You know, I think that Texas, if there is a real shot there, you know, I think that places where Michigan, you know, I don't know how they would be. I don't know how a sort of Midwestern man feels right now about the lockdowns, about COVID and everything else like that. But they have not shown up before. And there's not too much separation between African Americans and regional, period. Maybe there's a different mindsets and cores and different grievances that should be picked. But just like we seen when we came out of Virginia down to Texas, went back up into St. Louis, and then went back up into Michigan for the primaries. Even coming from Nevada, when he placed second on the back of like 36% African American vote, man, there's not too much separation. So at the end of the day, you want to watch things like that. You want to watch patterns like that. And that's why I'm saying that's an interesting pattern to watch as far as I'm concerned. But, you know, there's going to be more to come, man. This is about to get interesting. And I'm about to be doing this thing more because it's going to get interesting, man. I don't know. I don't really, it depends on how these openings go and things like that. But we got a lot of layoffs coming. Got a lot of people out here hurting. And they're getting disgruntled. And they want to blame somebody. And I know there's a lot of people who say Donald Trump is the target, but man, I'm trying to tell you, man, people are not as politically astute as you believe they are on all political spectrums. I'm talking about from the right to the far left, and people can be drawn and sucked away, especially on places like the far left, by some type of just messaging and some type of false equivalencies that'll make everybody the same. So that's what it is, man. But this is a different politics. I'm signing off on this video. So, man, follow, subscribe, do the whole thing. I'm about to be a lot more consistent. And anybody who said this is a shirt, who probably thinking, but this ain't mine. It just say black is positively resilient. I don't know what you say. It say black and, but it say black and positively resilient. So, all right, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Whoever might tune in and watch, I appreciate you.